As fate would have it, I found myself pulled over for speeding. But what happened next was nothing short of a twist in the tale. She left her number on the ticket. Welcome to Bad Boys channel, where we reveal true adultery stories with unexpected developments. If you find the video interesting, consider subscribing and liking it. Your support really aids the growth of our channel. Now let's embark on the journey into the story. The road stretched on before me, and it seemed as though I had been driving for an eternity. The road unfurled ahead, a vast expanse of solitude, where only the gentle purr of my engine and the soft murmur of the wind through the open window broke the stillness. I moved with a steady pace, neither hurried nor dragging my feet. Perhaps I found myself adrift in a sea of my own musings, striving to cast aside the burdens of the day, the ordinary toil of work and existence. The notion of a weekend approaching, whether to be spent in the company of friends or in solitude, felt like a fleeting whisper, far off and lacking significance. And then, there they were, the flashing lights, cutting through the darkness. In the beginning, I believed it to be a mere error. I glanced into my rearview mirror, and there it was once more, the unwavering, persistent shimmer of red and blue lights. As I glanced in the rearview mirror, the unmistakable lights of a police car began to flash, signaling that I was about to be pulled over. With a quiet mutter of discontent, I drummed my fingers on the steering wheel, a wave of frustration washing over me. It never crossed my mind that I was speeding, yet I was all too aware of how effortlessly the police could decide to pull someone over for the slightest infraction. It was as if they possessed an uncanny ability to find you at the most inopportune times. I came to a stop by the roadside, my heart pounding with excitement and my palms beginning to glisten with sweat. Though I felt a calmness within, there was an undeniable tension that came with being pulled over by the police. It had a way of making you question your own actions, even when you were certain you had done nothing amiss. I silenced the engine and lingered for a moment, collecting my thoughts. Once more, I glanced into the rearview mirror, and there she was. As she approached, her height and self-assured demeanor spoke volumes, revealing a commanding presence that left no doubt she was in control. Her uniform was pristine, and her demeanor was composed, yet there was an unmistakable quality in her gaze that suggested I had crossed a line far more serious than mere speeding. I lowered the window, striving to maintain a calm tone, despite the rapid thumping of my heart echoing in my chest. "Is there a problem, officer?" I inquired, fully aware of what the response would be. Her lips remained still, yet her gaze captured mine, lingering just a heartbeat longer than I had anticipated. Her gaze cut through the air, keen and discerning. It was clear she was taking her time. She paused, as if weighing her words carefully, attempting to decipher the depths of my thoughts. "Can you guess the reason I brought you to a halt?" she inquired, her tone resolute yet gentle. I gently shook my head, a silent gesture filled with unspoken thoughts. "Truly, I must say no, officer. In my mind, I believed I was navigating the roads just fine." With a slow nod, she cast her gaze downward at her notepad, her pen poised as she began to inscribe her thoughts. "Ah, you found yourself cruising along, a good 15 miles beyond the posted limit. Ah, the thrill of the open road. Yet one must tread carefully, for the twists and turns can hold peril for the unwary who dare to push the limits of speed." With a heavy sigh, I nodded, my thoughts swirling like a tempest. 15 miles beyond the limit? It dawned on me only later that I was moving at quite the pace. I offered a hasty apology, striving to appear more collected than I truly was. I apologized for not recognizing that sooner. I found myself caught off guard, I admitted, attempting to infuse sincerity into my words, despite the fact that my excuse felt feeble even to me. For a brief moment, silence enveloped her, words unspoken hanging in the air. She carefully jotted down additional notes on her pad. It was clear she was taking her time, reluctant to part ways with me. She was simply going about her duties, yet the atmosphere was thick with unspoken tension. I cast my gaze upon her once more. She exuded professionalism, yet there was an intriguing quality that set her apart. There was an experience that left me with a peculiar sensation. At first, it eluded me, but soon enough, I sensed the warmth slowly rising along my neck. "Stay right here," she finally declared, taking a step back to her patrol car. I observed her stride away, the rhythmic sound of her boots echoing against the pavement, and for a fleeting moment, a sense of foolishness washed over me. What was it that drew me to her? What was it that drew me to her with such an inexplicable, almost enchanting force? Though I had crossed paths with police officers in the past, this encounter felt distinct, almost charged with an unspoken energy. Her movements, the grace with which she held herself, exuded an undeniable confidence. Moments later, she returned to my car, the ticket clutched in one hand. As she extended her hand, our gazes locked once more, a silent connection passing between us. The atmosphere surrounding us was charged, heavy with unspoken words. She appeared completely at ease with the encounter, as if it were merely another moment woven into the fabric of her day. As I grasped the ticket from her hand, my mind wandered to the price it would demand from my pocket. As I cast my gaze upon the fine print on the front, a curious detail captured my attention. On the reverse side of the ticket, in a hurried scrawl that seemed to dance across the paper, there lay a number. A sequence of digits that connects you to someone far away. My gaze darted back to her, questioning whether I had conjured it from thin air. Could this be a twist of fate? Was it her intention to inscribe it in that place? Or could it have been meant for me? She appeared oblivious to the fact that I had flipped the ticket to examine it. As she turned and made her way back to her patrol car, I stood there, clutching the ticket tightly, my gaze fixed on the number printed on it. It was a sight that left me utterly astonished. What could have prompted her to share her number with me? Could this be a jest? Was she like this with everyone? It was a puzzle that defied understanding. And yet here I found myself, clutching the ticket tightly, caught in a web of uncertainty about my next move. I glanced upward, anticipating her gaze to remain fixed upon me. Yet she had already slipped into her car, driving off with a swift wave of her hand. As she drove away, my heart raced, leaving me standing there on the roadside, the ticket with her number feeling like a fiery ember in my grasp. I shook my head, attempting to dispel the peculiar nature of the moment. With a turn of the key, the engine roared to life, and I set off, my gaze fixed on the winding path that lay before me. Yet that number continued to dance in my thoughts. It clung to me, refusing to let go. Could this truly be happening? Could she truly mean it? Is it time to pick up the phone? The journey home unfolded in a haze, each moment slipping away like grains of sand through my fingers. The road ahead blurred as my thoughts danced elsewhere. My thoughts lingered on the ticket, fixated on the number and on her presence. I attempted to convince myself that it was nothing of great importance, that I ought to let it slip from my mind. Yet deep down, I sensed that it wasn't meant to be. It lingered in my mind, refusing to let go. As I arrived home, I parked the car and lingered for a moment, my gaze fixed on the ticket cradled in my hand. The figure etched itself into my mind, a searing presence that refused to fade. Is it time to make that call? Could it have been an error? As I looked at my phone, my fingers hovered over the keys, ready to dial, but a moment of doubt crept in, causing me to pause. I settled into my seat, pondering the intricacies of it all. Was I getting lost in my thoughts on this? Or could this be a message from the universe? At last, I set the ticket aside, rose to my feet, and made my way into the house. In that moment, uncertainty wrapped around me like a thick fog, leaving me at a crossroads with no clear path ahead. Yet there was one undeniable truth. This is something I will always remember. Not just yet. It wasn't until the pieces fell into place that I truly understood. For the next few hours, I found myself wandering through thoughts, attempting to cast aside the weight of it all. At the end of a long day, all I yearned for was a moment to unwind and let the weight of the world slip away. I flung the ticket onto the kitchen counter, seeking to divert my mind with other thoughts. Is there something more to share? Yet, each time I strolled past it, each time my eyes fell upon the digits hastily written on the reverse of that ticket, the memory of her lingered in my mind, refusing to fade away. Her voice lingered in my mind, a haunting melody that refused to fade. She spoke to me with a tone that was both confident and straightforward. The moment she placed the ticket in my hand, her gaze felt like a heavy cloak draped over my shoulders, and its presence remained long after she had vanished from sight. What could have prompted her to share her number with me? Could it have been a jest of sorts? Or was there a genuine spark of interest from her towards me? As I pondered deeper, a swirl of confusion enveloped my mind. Deep down, I understood that I ought to release it and move on. In the end, she held the badge of a police officer. What sort of bond might emerge from a situation like that? There was no compelling reason for me to think this was anything beyond a mere whim on her part. Yet the idea of reaching out to her remained in the back of my mind. As I immersed myself in my tasks, I found myself delaying the unavoidable, weaving through the threads of distraction. As the evening stretched into the night, solitude enveloped me, and I couldn't shake the thoughts that lingered in my mind. As the clock struck 9 p.m., I reached for my phone. For a few moments, I found myself captivated, my finger poised delicately above the keypad, as if waiting for the right moment to make its move. A part of me longed to hurl the phone into the abyss of the room, wishing to erase this moment from existence. Yet, there was another side of me, an undeniable force, that was already reaching for the phone to make the call. My heart quickened as I stood by, anticipating the moment the call would finally connect. My fingers quivered ever so slightly, and the sound of my own breath echoed in my ears. It was an odd sensation reaching out to a person I had never met, a complete enigma to me. A police officer, indeed. The phone rang twice, each chime echoing in the stillness before the line finally came alive. Greetings. Her voice flowed like honey, rich and inviting. Yet there was an undercurrent that sent a shiver through me, tightening my stomach with an unshakable tension. What I anticipated was far from what unfolded before me. It was a scene devoid of any pretense, where the air was thick with a casualness that stripped away the layers of formality and professionalism. Only her voice echoed in the silence, the woman who had captured my thoughts for countless hours. For a brief instant, I found myself caught in a web of silence, grappling with the right words to utter. This was the moment. At long last, I had achieved it. It was I who made the call to her. Greetings! At long last, I found my voice, though it came out in a hesitant murmur. Could this be Officer Miller, I wonder? A brief silence lingered on the other end of the line before her voice finally broke through. Pray tell, who might this be? A wave of nerves surged through me, enveloping my senses. In that moment, words eluded me, leaving me in a haze of uncertainty. It was an experience unlike any I had ever encountered. I've conversed with many souls throughout my journey, yet this experience was unlike any other. Such a conversation should never unfold over a phone call like this. Ah, it is I, the gentleman you stopped earlier today. I spoke, my voice unexpectedly shrinking to a whisper, far less robust than it had been moments earlier. Ah, the tale of the speeding ticket? A soft laugh danced through the phone, and I could sense the warmth of her smile in her words. Ah, how could I forget you? My heart fluttered with excitement. I found myself pondering whether that was a blessing or a curse. Yet, when her words reached my ears, a sense of comfort began to wash over me. Perhaps this situation holds a glimmer of hope. Well, you see, I found myself pondering whether you intended to leave your number inscribed on the back of the ticket. I pressed on, stumbling over my own words. It caught me by surprise, to be honest. Yet another moment of stillness. The silence lingered, stretching on endlessly between us, as if time itself had paused. And then she spoke, her voice now more at ease, laced with a touch of playful amusement. I was under the impression that you might not reach out to me. Her voice was gentle, laced with a hint of playful mischief. A warm rush spread across my cheeks. Uncertainty lingered in the air, a delicate dance between the shock of her reply and the enchanting manner in which she delivered it. Yet in that moment, a wave of realization washed over me, and I sensed that I was in deeper than I ever anticipated. I had been putting on a brave face, pretending that this was just another ordinary moment. Yet here I found myself, facing the very thing that had once filled me with apprehension. Her tone danced with playfulness, yet it carried an unmistakable air of sincerity. I found myself hesitating, a nervous hand rubbing the back of my neck as I confessed my uncertainty. "But here I am," she chuckled gently, and that sound stirred something deep within my chest. It was a delightful chuckle, the sort that wrapped you in comfort while stirring a hint of curiosity within. "It brings me joy to hear from you." There was a lingering doubt in my mind about whether you would. A silence hung in the air, stretching out like a vast expanse, leaving me uncertain about the next step to take. I had made the call, but what comes next in this unfolding tale? What could have possibly prompted her to share her number with me? Was this merely a kind act, or did it hold deeper significance? Well, I found myself on a journey to reclaim a bit of my lost composure. What unfolds next? She paused, her mind weaving through the possibilities, before finally offering her response. And so, we embark on a conversation, ready to discover the path it may lead us down. Thoughts whirled through my head. Can you envision the journey ahead? What could that possibly signify? Did she truly have an interest in me? Or was this merely her manner of extending friendship? Uncertainty lingered in the air. Yet the thought of engaging with her deeper, of truly uncovering the layers of her being, ignited a spark within me. For the next hour, we found ourselves lost in conversation, weaving through a tapestry of topics, sharing thoughts and stories that flowed effortlessly between us. What began as an awkward exchange gradually transformed into a flowing dialogue, each word weaving a thread of connection between us. We shared tales of our days, weaving stories of our jobs and the small moments that brought us joy and laughter. It was as if the universe conspired to weave our paths together, creating an instant bond that felt timeless, despite the fact that mere hours ago, we were but strangers in the same world. In the blink of an eye, I found myself glancing at the clock, only to discover how late it had become. The dialogue danced effortlessly, and I found myself marveling at the sheer delight it had brought me. "I suppose it's time to let you go," she murmured, her voice softening as the words slipped into the air. "Ah, but how wonderful it is that you reached out. It has been quite pleasant. I'm truly thankful you shared your number with me," I exclaimed before I could hold back. The words tumbled out before I had a chance to catch them, and my heart raced as the realization of what I had just uttered sank in. Yet her laughter rang out, and in that moment, it felt as if all was right in the world once more. Ah, it's a rare occasion when I find myself sharing my number with a gentleman I've just stopped. "Ah, but you possess a certain intrigue, a captivating allure," I found myself saying again, a smile gracing my lips. "Ah, that's an interesting perspective indeed." "Indeed," she remarked, a playful lilt dancing through her words. Time will tell if my perspective shifts. As we exchanged our farewells, I placed the phone down, my heart still pounding with emotion. It seemed as though a new chapter was unfolding between us, filled with possibilities. Yet the path ahead was a mystery, and therein lay the thrill of it all. The following days unfolded in a whirlwind of moments, each one slipping by like grains of sand through my fingers. Following that initial phone call, Officer Miller lingered in my thoughts, refusing to fade away. With each gentle flutter of my eyelids, her voice danced through my thoughts, a haunting melody that lingered in the silence. A peculiar sensation washed over me, and as I endeavored to immerse myself in my daily rituals, the gravity of that conversation kept drawing me back, impossible to shake off. She had mentioned that we would see where it leads, and despite my efforts to brush it aside, a part of me was eager to uncover the path ahead. I attempted to follow my regular rhythm, rising for work and addressing the tasks that awaited me. Yet her number lingered in my thoughts, a persistent whisper that refused to grant me peace. It was evident that this was not merely a fleeting occurrence. My curiosity was piqued, nothing more than a gentle spark of intrigue. A sense of curiosity washed over me. It was on the fourth day following our conversation that I received a message from her. Once upon a time, there was a message, and it was simple. Greetings. How has your day unfolded so far? My heart fluttered with excitement. The notion of her making the first move stirred something within me, as if I were stepping into a realm I had never explored before. I responded swiftly, wishing to conceal any hint of eagerness. Just weaving my way through the tapestry of work. What about you, my friend? The reply arrived swiftly, and before long we found ourselves slipping back into our familiar cadence. Before we knew it, our days were filled with a delightful exchange of messages, sharing small updates and fleeting thoughts that danced between us. It was the kind of dialogue that flowed naturally, reminiscent of exchanges between those who share a deep-seated familiarity, despite the fact that our paths had yet to cross in the physical realm. Then, a few hours later, she sent a message that sent a thrill through my stomach. This evening, I find myself free from the duties of work. How about we gather together for a chat? As I gazed at the screen, a whirlwind of excitement and nerves danced within me. At first, my instinct urged me to agree without a second thought, yet I found myself pausing, caught in a moment of uncertainty. This was truly happening now. This was more than a simple phone call or a passing moment. It marked the beginning of a journey that held the promise of blossoming into something greater. And while that thought sparked excitement, it also carried a hint of fear. With a steadying breath, I began to type my response. I would find that quite delightful. Where shall our paths cross? After a brief pause, her response arrived, and a smile crept across my face. In the heart of the bustling downtown, there lies a quaint little cafe. At the stroke of 7, I shall arrive. Until we meet again. As I gazed upon the message, a wave of excitement surged within me, filling my heart with eager anticipation. Anticipation coursed through me, a thrilling mix of excitement and nerves. The idea of finally laying eyes on her, of transforming our digital exchanges into a real encounter, sent my heart racing like a wild stallion. As the hours slipped by, I dedicated myself to the art of preparation, ensuring that my appearance was not just presentable, but perhaps a touch more refined than my usual self. My heart raced with anticipation, not merely because it was a date, but because this was no ordinary occasion. It was a moment with a police officer, the very one who had stopped me, the one who had written her number on the back of a speeding ticket. Uncertainty lingered in the air, yet I was on the brink of uncovering the truth of my situation. As I stepped into the cafe, my eyes swept across the room, taking in every detail. She was easy to find. There she was, perched by the window, clad in a laid-back leather jacket and jeans, embodying a sense of effortless cool. Yet, in the midst of such simplicity, she shone brightly. She possessed an undeniable allure that drew everyone's attention. I lingered for a moment, caught in a dilemma between stepping forward to engage with her or simply remaining in the shadows, savoring the scene before me. In that moment, she lifted her gaze, and our eyes intertwined. Her smile enveloped me like a cozy blanket, radiating warmth and sincerity, instantly dissolving all the anxious butterflies that had taken flight within me. I approached her table, my heart racing with anticipation. "Hi," I said, a hint of awkwardness in my voice as I drew out the chair and settled into it. "Ah, you truly shine with an incredible radiance." Her laughter danced through the air, a gentle melody that eased my tension just a bit. "Thank you. You're looking quite splendid as well." A moment of serene stillness enveloped us before I found my voice once more. "Ah, what a curious moment we find ourselves in, wouldn't you agree?" "Unreal." With a quirk of her brow, she expressed her intrigue. I believed this was the moment we would shed our awkwardness and embrace the joy of fun. A smile crept across my face as the tension began to melt away. "Isn't that so? Let us embark on that journey." For the next few hours, we engaged in deep conversation, truly connecting. The casual exchanges we had grown accustomed to via text and phone calls transformed into genuine in-person dialogue. She shared with me the fascinating tales of her job, the wild adventures she experienced during her time on the force, and the life she led beyond those moments. I recounted my tales, my dreams, my little triumphs and setbacks. It seemed as if a bond had already formed between us, despite this being our first encounter face to face. The dialogue danced effortlessly between us, and with each utterance, I felt a growing ease in her presence. Her presence was effortlessly comforting, a gentle invitation that made me feel free to share my thoughts without a hint of worry about being judged. In a moment that felt electric, she leaned in closer, her gaze piercing through to meet mine. "So, what has this journey been like for you? What's the deal with this phone number printed on the back of a ticket?" A gentle chuckle escaped my lips as I ran my fingers through my hair. To be truthful, I'm still navigating through it all. "It's not the kind of thing that catches you off guard, is it?" Her lips curled into a gentle smile, a subtle curve that spoke volumes. "Oh, I can vividly picture that. Ah, but how wonderful it is that you reached out." A gentle warmth enveloped me, filling my being with a soothing embrace. Her heart swelled with joy at the sound of my voice. As our conversation flowed, I found myself increasingly captivated by her presence. With a spark of confidence, a dash of humor, and an effortless charm, she drew people in, making conversation feel like a delightful dance. Yet, beneath the surface, there lingered an elusive essence, a feeling I struggled to articulate. It ran deeper than mere appearances. It was something beyond the ordinary. The evening unfolded like a fleeting dream, and suddenly I found myself glancing at the clock, realizing it was almost 10 p.m. As I cast a fleeting look at my phone, the realization struck me like a bolt of lightning. Time had slipped away, and the hour was far later than I had anticipated. With a hint of hesitation, I murmured, "I suppose it's time for me to take my leave. Tomorrow brings the promise of work ahead." She nodded, yet a flicker of uncertainty danced in her eyes. "Indeed, I feel the same way." We rose as one, and she slipped her jacket on with a graceful motion. I strolled alongside her to the door, my mind swirling with a flurry of thoughts. This was everything I had dreamed of, and beyond my expectations. In person, she surpassed all my wildest imaginings. "Will our paths cross once more?" I inquired, my voice tinged with a hint of hesitation. With a twinkle in her eye, she cast me a mischievous glance. "Do you believe you have what it takes to face it?" A soft laugh escaped me, a wave of comfort washing over me like a gentle breeze, easing the tension that had lingered throughout the evening. "I have no doubt about it." With a warm smile, she extended her hand, offering me a delicate piece of paper. "Ah, A gentle reminder, just in case it slips your mind. Give me a ring when you can. With the paper in hand, my heart raced with anticipation. This was the moment. At last, the moment I had long anticipated arrived. As I strolled back to my car, a thought lingered in my mind. Perhaps, just perhaps, this marked the dawn of something genuine. In the days that followed, a tempest of events unfolded. Following that remarkable night at the cafe, thoughts of Officer Miller lingered in my mind like a captivating tale waiting to unfold. Her smile, the sparkle in her eyes when laughter danced upon her lips, the way she leaned in, making me feel like I was the sole focus of her world. Every detail about her lingered in my mind. As the sun rose the next day, I found myself gazing at my phone, contemplating the perfect moment to reach out to her after we had exchanged numbers the night before. It struck me as somewhat absurd, yet I was determined not to appear overly enthusiastic. And so, I found myself in a moment of stillness, waiting. After a few hours of contemplation, I decided to send a message, maintaining a laid-back vibe. Ah, what a delightful evening it was last night, filled with joy and laughter. I trust your day is unfolding beautifully. With a swift click, I sent it off, not allowing a moment for doubt to creep in. Though my nerves had crept back in, I summoned the strength to direct my thoughts elsewhere. In the end, I knew I couldn't allow myself to be overwhelmed by a single message, could I? Moments later, my phone vibrated with a sudden buzz. Her response came in a flash. Ah, what a delightful experience it was for me as well. What a pleasure it was to finally cross paths with you. Shall we embark on another adventure together soon? A gentle smile began to bloom on my lips. This time, it was she who took the first step to reach out. Ah, there was a certain magic in that moment, a comforting presence. It filled me with a sense of belonging, as if I were part of something larger, something that was unfolding before us all. I responded swiftly, a surge of confidence coursing through me. Absolutely. What do you say we gather around the table for dinner this weekend? Her response came in a flash. That sounds just right. And in that moment, our plans began to take shape. The weekend arrived with surprising swiftness, and there I was, once again before that familiar cafe, eagerly anticipating her arrival. As the sun began to rise, I found myself arriving ahead of time. One must strive to maintain an air of calm, yet the flutter of nerves lingered just beneath the surface. With each passing minute, I paced restlessly, stealing glances at my phone as if it held the answers I sought. What if this was merely a twist of fate? What if I was delving too deeply into every little thing? As I reflect on that night, memories swirl like shadows in the moonlight. How we wove our connection so seamlessly. Yet, on this occasion, it unfolded in a way that was unlike any other. On this occasion, the atmosphere was charged with potential, hinting at the possibility of a deeper connection blossoming. At long last, she made her entrance, gliding in with that unmistakable air of confidence. My heart danced in my chest. She appeared magnificent, just as she always does. Adorned in a relaxed manner, yet exuding a hint of sophistication. She possessed a natural allure that effortlessly captivated those around her, as if by some enchanting force. As her eyes met mine, a smile blossomed on her face, and in that moment, a soothing wave of relief enveloped me. Her face lit up with a warmth that spoke volumes, a true delight in our reunion. Greetings. I rose to my feet and offered her a warm greeting. Ah, you truly shine with brilliance. Thank you, she replied, echoing the kind words back to him. Why, thank you. You're quite the sight as well. Our laughter echoed through the air. The uneasy atmosphere that had lingered began to dissipate as we settled into our seats together. The dialogue flowed effortlessly, reminiscent of our previous encounter. We wove our words through a tapestry of thoughts, touching on all that mattered and yet, somehow, nothing at all. We wove together tales of our lives, recounting past adventures and dreams that dance on the horizon. It was more than mere chatter. It was those genuine, profound exchanges that created a sense of connection between us, one that felt truly unique. As the night unfolded, I discovered a warmth and ease in her presence that enveloped me. It felt as though we had shared countless stories together, as if our connection spanned years rather than mere days. With each word that flowed from her lips, I felt an irresistible pull towards her. It was more than merely her appearance or the way she carried herself. It was the manner in which she illuminated my existence, allowing me to feel acknowledged, listened to, and truly comprehended. In a moment that felt almost magical, she reclined in her chair, her eyes dancing with mischief as she regarded me with a playful smile. "Pray tell, what truly compelled you to share your number with me?" A chuckle escapes me as I find myself pleasantly surprised. "I'm not quite sure. Perhaps I simply found you intriguing." With a playful lift of her eyebrow, she revealed her amusement. "Intriguing, isn't it? Is that truly the finest you can muster?" I shrugged, a hint of sheepishness creeping in. One might say it transcended mere description. It was simply the manner in which you held yourself. "I'm not quite sure. There's a certain magic within you." With a gentle curve of her lips, she offered a soft smile. In that fleeting instant, it felt as though the very fabric of the world unraveled, leaving only us in a realm of our own. "I'm glad you called me," she said, her voice dropping to a softer, more personal tone. "You've been on my mind as well." That straightforward confession caused a weight to settle in my chest. It was a moment unlike any other, as she spoke those words for the first time. And the weight of her confession hung in the air, resonating deeply. Uncertainty lingered in the air, yet a spark of curiosity ignited within me, urging me to uncover the unfolding tale ahead. As the night unfolded, our conversation flowed like a gentle river, revealing just how much I cherished her presence. It was more than mere words exchanged or the bond we were nurturing. It was the way she embraced me, allowing my true self to shine through. In that moment, everything felt effortless and genuine. She embraced me in my entirety, imperfections and all, and it brought a sense of ease to everything. As the evening drew to a close, we rose to take our leave. It seemed as though the very fabric of time had whisked away in an instant. The conclusion caught me off guard. As I strolled alongside her towards the door, I couldn't help but express the joy of the moment, saying, "I had a really great time." "Me too," she said, a warm smile spreading across her face. "It brings me joy that we embarked on this journey together." A smile crept onto my face in response. "Likewise." She lingered at the threshold, gazing up at me, her expression now imbued with a gentle warmth. And then, what unfolds next in this tale? At the beginning, words eluded me. I found myself venturing into unknown realms. In a moment that was both enchanting and strange, I found myself in a situation unlike any I had ever encountered before, where everything felt instinctive, yet curiously foreign. Yet, as I gazed upon her, it dawned on me that possessing all the answers was not a necessity. "Let us embark on this journey and see where it leads us," I declared, a blend of uncertainty and assurance in my voice. With a gentle nod, her smile blossomed like a flower in the sun. That idea resonates with me. As we stepped into the cool embrace of the evening air, we found ourselves walking side by side, a shared moment in the fading light. A fresh chapter was unfolding, brimming with anticipation and thrill. As I strolled alongside her to her car, a sense of anticipation filled the air, whispering that this could be the beginning of something truly remarkable. Weeks had passed since that unforgettable dinner, and the days spent with Officer Miller, Avery, had unfolded like a captivating whirlwind. Every moment we shared wove another thread into the tapestry of what was swiftly transforming into an undeniable bond between us. Our paths had crossed countless times, and with each meeting, it seemed we were weaving together a tapestry of something genuine, something profound. Who would have thought that a mere speeding ticket could spark such an unexpected relationship? Life has a delightful knack for throwing surprises our way. Avery was a unique soul, unlike anyone I had encountered in my life. She radiated strength and confidence, her eyes ablaze with a fire that drew me in, urging me to come closer. Yet, what truly set it apart was the warmth she brought, the way she lent an ear, the depth of her understanding, and the sincerity of her care. It was clear to me that she approached the situation with caution, maybe even a hint of skepticism about letting anyone in. Yet, there was an undeniable spark that suggested she was on the brink of taking a bold leap forward, and I felt an undeniable eagerness to accompany her on this journey. On a late evening, just a few days after a casual yet significant exchange of texts that wandered through topics from our jobs to our beloved films, I felt compelled to call her once more. On that particular night, an unmistakable essence lingered in the atmosphere. The air was thick with anticipation, as if the night itself whispered secrets of grander tales yet to unfold. For a brief moment, I found myself gazing at my phone, caught in a web of hesitation. Despite our many conversations, a sense of uncertainty lingered about the nature of our connection. But therein lay the thrill, wouldn't you agree? The mysterious realm that lies beyond our understanding. The excitement of uncovering something fresh and unseen. With a hopeful heart, I dialed her number, anticipation building as I waited for her to answer. The gentle chime danced through my apartment, stirring a wave of excitement within me. "Hey, it's me," I said when she answered, attempting to keep my voice light, though my heart raced like a wild stallion. "Well, hello there," she replied, her voice wrapped in warmth. "Greetings. How are you today?" A smile crept onto my face as I realized how effortlessly our conversation flowed, despite the tumultuous history we shared. The moments we shared, the words exchanged between us, only served to intensify the emotions I felt for her. I paused for a moment, eager to dive right into the heart of the matter. In the quiet moments of my mind, your presence lingered like a gentle whisper, a thought that danced softly through my reflections. I found myself speaking with a rawness I hadn't planned on revealing. In that moment, it dawned on me that I longed to cross paths with you once more. How I yearn for this. My heart longs for us to be together. A hush fell over the line, and I found myself holding my breath in anticipation. Did I perhaps utter the wrong words? Was I rushing through the moments? Yet once more, her voice reached my ears, gentler than it had been. "I was hoping you'd say that," she remarked with a glimmer of anticipation in her eyes, and a wave of relief washed over my heart. "It has crossed my mind as well. What can you tell us about yourselves?" A burden was released from my heart as the strain between us finally dissolved. It felt as if we had finally found our rhythm together. We no longer needed to wear masks. "I can't bear to wait any longer," she pressed on. "Let's bring this to life, shall we?" A grin spread across my face, my hands quivering ever so slightly with anticipation. "Absolutely. Let's embark on this journey together." As the days turned into weeks, time seemed to slip away, and suddenly, the bond we shared had grown stronger than I could have imagined. We had transformed from mere strangers brought together by fate into something far more profound. In a world where connections can often feel fleeting, we found ourselves as two souls intertwined, each nurturing a bond that brought warmth and comfort to our hearts. Truly remarkable, Avery transformed into my sanctuary, a sanctuary of serenity. Amidst the swirling chaos of the world beyond, our moments together grew in number and significance. From the simple pleasure of grabbing coffee in the morning to the leisurely strolls through the city after a long day's work. We would lose ourselves in conversations that wandered through every topic imaginable, yet somehow felt like they were about nothing at all. At times, we find ourselves in fits of laughter, our sides aching from the joy of the moment. It was more than just the joyful times that wove our connection together. It was indeed the quiet ones as well. The times we found ourselves in quietude, yet it felt perfectly comfortable. It was a cozy embrace. One afternoon, as we lingered in the park, basking in the glow of the sunset, she turned to me, her expression contemplative and deep. "You know," she began, "this isn't something I typically do. Opening up to others isn't something I do lightly." She took a moment, searching for the perfect words to weave into her tale. But with you, the tale takes a different turn. Words fail to capture it. Your presence has been like a gentle breeze, refreshing and uplifting." As I gazed upon her, a gentle warmth enveloped my being. I grasped her meaning perfectly. This was unlike anything else. There was an unmistakable magic in the air, a delightful shift that wrapped around everything, transforming it into something extraordinary. With sincerity, I expressed that I shared the same sentiment. "There's something about you that stirs a sense of familiarity within me, as if our paths have intertwined across the ages." Avery smiled, and in that fleeting instant, the world seemed to align just right. As the sun began its descent, it painted the sky with hues of gold, enveloping the park in a warm embrace. It was as if time itself had paused, allowing only us to exist in that moment. "Perhaps," she whispered gently, "we've been waiting for one another all this time." No further words were necessary. Her words held a truth that resonated deeply within me, a feeling that blossomed whenever she was near. As I delved deeper into her essence, it became increasingly clear that envisioning my life devoid of her presence was simply impossible. Sometimes the simplest moments speak the loudest, without the need for grand gestures or elaborate speeches. My only task was to be by her side. As the sun dipped below the horizon, we found ourselves at a quaint Italian restaurant, a cherished gem that held our fondest memories. In that serene and inviting space, one could truly let their guard down and embrace their true self. As we shared a meal, laughter dancing between us, I found myself reflecting on the journey that had brought us to this moment. From that initial clumsy meeting when she stopped me for speeding, to the moment she slipped her number onto the back of the ticket, each moment had woven its way to bring us here. It felt as though the universe had conspired in harmony. And so, here we stood, just two souls, poised to embrace whatever adventures lay ahead. With a heart full of gratitude, I gazed at her, my words flowing with genuine warmth. I'm truly glad we embarked on this journey together. It brings me joy that our paths have crossed. With a gentle smile, her eyes sparkled, radiating warmth and love. Same here. From that fateful night onward, the journey only blossomed further. We moved at our own pace, neither hurrying nor restraining ourselves. The air was thick with clarity, and doubt had vanished into the ether. It seemed as though we had uncovered a treasure, a truth so profound that it ignited a fire within us, compelling us to stand and defend it. In the weeks that followed, I came to understand that life often leads us down paths we never anticipated. It brought me to Avery, and in that moment, I discovered something I hadn't realized I was seeking all along. Love. It may not have been flawless, but it belonged to us. And so it was sufficient.